Inflation. We can't avoid it, can we? But we can invest smarter and ultimately beat it. Well, this video will show you which investments beat inflation. Okay, so I'm gonna give you 4 of these tips, and you know what? They might surprise you a little bit. So number 1, and this is one that might apply to more of you than anybody, is pay off high interest credit cards. Here's the deal, is that with any investment, there's risk, right? Anything you put your money into, no matter how certain, doesn't matter if it's even a real asset, like we'll talk about here in a little bit, still, you could possibly lose money. But the one thing you can know for certain is that if you pay off a high interest credit card, you'll know exactly how much money you free up per month because that payment is gone, isn't it? That's a guaranteed rate of return. What many people are finding right now is that inflation goes up, their interest rates are going up as the feds keep raising the rates. Well, you may not even notice this, but your credit card rates have probably been creeping up on you slowly or maybe even quickly over the last several months, right? Especially as they started raising rates since 2022. Well, we need to make sure that you can beat that. So if you have any high interest credit cards, this might be the best investment you could be doing right now is just focus on paying those down. Don't worry about investing in stock markets and real estate or anything else. Don't worry about any of these other things we're gonna talk about here. Focus on your credit cards, get those off your books, and then you can take that extra cash flow to invest in these next things we'll talk about here. All right, number 2 is business. If you have your own business, and actually even if you don't have your own business, even if you invest in a business, this is one way you could beat inflation. Because the truth is that businesses also have to beat inflation. This is why even Chipotle, you go in for your nice bean and beef burrito and lots of extra additives or whatever else they put. It's weird that they make it a health food restaurant. I don't know why they call it health food at a Mexican restaurant. But you go to Chipotle, guess what? Prices have creeped up on you. Why? Because wages went up and costs went up, and they pass it back to you to help pay for their bills so that they still make money. Well, if you're a business owner, you should be doing the same thing. It's not fun, but that's the truth, is that inflation needs to go up in business as well. So business can be a great place to beat inflation. I remember, even just in the last recession, see, we had dips of inflation, but then it started to come back up again. Business, the great thing is I can raise my prices and choose how I do that. Now, you gotta do it within reason, but generally speaking, the markets will go up as inflation goes up. That's a great thing to be able to do that. Now, here's a warning. Many people will say, oh, business, well, I can invest in corporate America by buying stocks. That's true, but it's not the same thing. Listen, when you buy a stock, everybody else gets paid before you. You're the last person to get paid when you finally get paid whatever returns you might make on that stock price or any possible dividends. And most of those companies are so big that really they don't grow by leaps and bounds. They grow by little bits, okay? So small business is one of the best places to be in, especially if it's your business, because you can control the factors, you can control what's going on in that. So business can be one of the best places to beat inflation. Number 3, cash flowing real estate. Notice I didn't just say real estate, right? Because here's what many people will do. They'll say, wait, well, if I buy a real estate property and it appreciates X percent, I've made my money. I've made lots of money. Well, yeah, but that's a gamble again, right? Even though inflation and real estate prices typically do appreciate over time and often don't go down, so it is a safer place than putting your money in the stock market. Still, I like cash flowing real estate because even if prices don't go up on real estate, which I think you might start seeing more currently, if not into the future, you might see that for a short bit. Well, if that's the case, I want to make sure I'm still getting paid because otherwise I am losing to inflation. So I like cash flowing real estate. Give you an example. We just had a real estate property came up in our network. We have a bunch of vetted professionals, a lot of people that offer investments to us and to our clients. And one of these guys said, hey, here's one of our properties. We got many just like it. It's out in East Texas. Think Tyler, Texas, the football and Friday Night Lights. You got that going on, right? You got this East Texas property that you can buy for $110,000. And this property is like about 1,500 square feet. So it's not like California 1,500 square feet, which is like, $800,000, right? This is 1,500 square feet you buy for $110,000. It's already worth $120,000, so you've got some equity in it. But here's the best part. It cash flows after you pay them to manage the property for you. You don't deal with the tenants, the toilets, or the trash. They manage it for you, and you're making $930 a month profit. That's about a 10% rate of return on your money. If you think about that, you get that 10% rate of return, that extra $930 a month or just over $11,000 a year that you're making. Now you're not just keeping up with inflation, you're potentially even beating inflation, especially if that happens year after year, month after month. coming in. And if there's any appreciation after that, bonus, that's like the little cherry on top with your whipped cream, right? So yummy. It's nice to have that appreciation to go with it. That's why it's not too uncommon when we have cash flowing real estate properties that our clients buy or I buy for myself. It's not too uncommon for us to make at least a 20, 25% or more total rate of return on the money that we have. So great way and a very stable way to make money and beat inflation. And just so you know, what usually goes up with inflation? Real estate. That's definitely one of them. All right, now are there other alternatives to this? Yes, of course. What are other ways to beat inflation? You could be buying commodities. You could buy things like gold and silver. Now, here's the problem with gold and silver is that, again, prices can be manipulated. I think they are. Also, they don't necessarily cash flow. They don't provide you income coming from that, unless you own a mining company, which you probably don't. But for the most part, gold and silver, it may or may not pay you. But if you're trying to store some money, like what we do, we store actual cash, right? We store cash in case ATMs go down. If there's another Hurricane Katrina or any event that wipes out power, heck, even the tsunami that hit Japan wiped out power for weeks. They had zero power at all. How are you gonna use money or get money? Having cash helps. But again, cash loses to inflation. So to help offset that, you can buy things like gold and silver to give you a little bit of extra inflation hedge there, to give you a little extra protection on that money, right? But that's not where I would put my money necessarily. I wouldn't put a lot of it there. I would put it into other things that might be more inflation friendly. So I mentioned real estate before. There are other ways to use real estate. Self-storage units is another great example. One, if you move into a recession, self-storage units tend to be recession resistant, not recession proof. There's still risk there. But when people have to downsize because of inflation, where do they put all their junk? Especially us Americans who have so much crap in our houses, right? Where do we move it? We move it to a storage unit, because it's cheaper to put it into a storage unit than it is to keep it and buy a bigger house they have to pay bigger payments on. So we move it to storage units to save money, right? Self-storage could be a great place to beat inflation and even take advantage of inflation for that very purpose. Another investment that's great, many people complain about gas prices going up. I actually believe that we'll see gas prices going up quite a bit more in the future. We have a gasoline and natural gas shortage, not just countrywide, but worldwide, right? We got all these issues going on with that. I think we're gonna see those prices going up. Could you imagine what it'd be like if all of a sudden our gas went up to like $7, $8, $10 a gallon? Wouldn't that be crazy? Seems impossible, but we also thought $5 a gallon was impossible too at one point, didn't we? And look, we've seen $4 or $5 a gallon, haven't we? So that's where we wanna make sure we buy something that could take advantage of that. That's where oil and gas can be a great industry. It's a commodity, just like I talked about with gold and silver, but it also has that element where it is affected by inflation. And if you're gonna have to pay more at the gas pumps, why not make more money on the investment? So one investment we have is actually one where you lease the land to oil companies, and then the oil companies not only pay you the lease for it, whether they make money or not, but then they also have to pay you royalties on all the minerals they're drilling, whether it be oil and gas, natural gas, all those things that they're getting and capturing. That's creating profits for them. You get the profits and you get the rent, the lease off the land. You're double dipping on them. Great ways to make money. I know with our own investments, we've been making like 15 to 20% on that right now, which you need, especially when inflation is kicking your butt in every other place. By the way, if you're in the stock market right now and inflation is going up, say it's 10%, but your stocks go down 20%, you're losing a ton load of money, because if that inflation keeps going up, that market keeps going down, you might have to spend decades trying to get back up to just where you were. We don't want to have to spend years wasting time. You want to make sure you have good, real investments that provide real cash flow. So as I mentioned, number one, pay off credit cards first and foremost. But then two, look at investing in your own business if you have a business, or into cash flow in real estate or other alternative investments that are inflation friendly. So if you like this video, check out how you can make an extra $5,000 a month in passive income right now.